As I was going up from town, I met the grain trains rolling down. Every day 100 trains, every train 100 cars, every car 100 tons, every ton 100 sacks, every sack 10,000 grains. And that's what cities get from trains. Some politicians lacking brains said in voices dripping sweet, we don't really need these trains, railroads all are obsolete. They're union strong, it makes demands. They guard their yards with railroad dicks who kick our cops clean off their lands, do not like our politics. As I was going up from town, I met the grain trains rolling down. Every day 100 trains, every train 100 cars, every car 100 tons, every ton 100 sacks, every sack 10,000 grains. And that's what cities get from trains. So the politicians passed some laws to screw more money off the trains and deeper dip their pudgy paws in more control of railroad gains. The railroad said, get off our land. They went on strike to show their peak. The grain trains stopped their rolling and the city starved within a week. As I was going up from town, I met the grain trains rolling down. Every day 100 trains, every train 100 cars, every car 100 tons, every ton 100 sacks, every sack 10,000 grains. And that's what cities get from trains. Hunger riots burned and rose and battered down the state house door, and all those fat politicos were killed and eaten by the poor. And with the city out of joint and no more politician men, the railroad said they'd proved their point and sent the grain trains down again. As I was going up from town, I met the grain trains rolling down. Every day 100 trains, every train 100 cars, every car 100 tons, every ton 100 sacks, every sack 10,000 grains. And that's what cities get from trains.
Good morning, Minecraft. How you doing, Wandering Beekeeper here? It is 48 degrees fondly Fahrenheit here in the Pacific Northwest, land of legal weed. Content warning, I will talk about weed. It is legal here. I am an old queer man with a couple of trans kids and talk about the lived experience of our being run out of Tennessee by political violence, and generally cuss a lot and be highly opinionated. You have been warned, this may be a dark ride. We are here today to play Minecraft, so let us get over straight this is the last thing I'm going to do straight, let me tell you. Here we are in our Minecraft world. And we're standing outside of a woodland mansion, not just any woodland mansion. This one is an acacia one, done up with the mod Repurposed Structures, one of my all-time favorites. I've talked about it a lot on previous streams, so I don't need to go too much here. Suffice to say, it reskins the standard Minecraft structures and allows you to plunk them into other environments. And so here I have this being the entrance to the train station. Oh, hi. And this is my mechanical wolf. Which I tried to make a song about and couldn't find a rhyme for wolf, and I really wanted to do the song from H.R. Pufnstuf. But he's basically fulfilling the function of a dog. A tamed wolf becomes a dog, and so he's a mechanical dog made up of wires and cogs. I mean, I could go on with that, but it's bugging me because it clearly says wolf. Yeah. That's the mechanical companion mod from Create. So yeah, this is a create self-propelled, self-directing to some extent contraption. I fitted him out with the torches, so he provides light, and he has a quantum drive that allows him to teleport where he needs to be, and smelting fangs, which have dual purposes. This is Union Station. It is Union Station. It's not done yet. I haven't done the staff area. I haven't done the switching booth, but the passenger concourse is done. And we're here to have a look at that today. This is the entrance. Now, right now, it just lets out onto grass. I'm going to pave this, and I'm going to put a parking lot. I'm going to pave paradise and put up a parking lot, and have a visual joke with a cart with a couple of cows so that it's an ox cart hitched up at a sign that says park and ride. So somebody's driven to the train station and then parked their vehicle and taken the train, except that their vehicle is an ox cart because this is Minecraft, and that's what the villagers drive. So yeah, never pass up an opportunity for a visual joke, even if it's not the best. Go for it. I might get a giggle out of somebody, who knows. Yes, I am a little wired this morning. I've been hitting the not on stream, mind you. That would get me a adult-only rating real fast, but I'm a little ahead of myself. Let me back up here. I've been hitting the Blue Dream Artisan. I managed to catch it on sale one last weekend before they were no longer vendor of the month. And so I've got Blue Dream this morning, which is a very energetic sativa. You can tell I'm running at 200 kph here. This is not caffeine. So we go into the train station, and going into the train station, I mean, everybody knows what walking into a train station looks like. Everybody lives in a culture that has trains and rail, and that's a large part of the world. So you walk in, and there are 3 different ticket machines. Fortunately, they're color-coded, so you can grab the one you need and hopefully get the ticket on the correct line. 2 ATMs, because there are always people who need to hit the ATM, either arriving from somewhere else or leaving to go somewhere. And then the usual signage, all signs directing you to all trains. There's only one platform. And to the cafeteria. A little bit of nice lighting from Macaw's. And then we proceed into the train station, and the first thing we encounter is the loo, which is what you ought to encounter. Looking at you, New York City, that builds subway stations with no loo, and then everybody complains that the platforms smell like piss. Gosh, I wonder why. I really do. We have a bathroom with all the available signage stuck up. The lavatory is unisex. We go in, there is the inevitable sign. You have to have this sign in the bathroom, in a public loo. It's like a regulation. The sign has to be there. And there's a couch, because this is a train station, and at some point, there probably ought to be a side table or something, but instead you get a mop and a bucket and a first aid kit. And then there are 4 fully enclosed stalls, with the last one being wider and having grab rails so that this is an accessible bathroom, as it should be. By gosh, by golly. If I'm going to build a damn bathroom, I'm going to build it right. So we have pedestal sinks and soap dispensers. Don't have a lowered sink, which annoys me. There probably ought to be a lowered sink for wheelchair access. I really ought to take care of that. But, and then the blow dryers that never work, and you end up wiping your hands on your pants. Or, whatever you're wearing that you don't mind getting wet. Okay, so, by gosh, by golly, there is a damn bathroom in here. Properly lit and everything. We head out and into the concourse, and here we have a coffee cart. Cogswell Coffees. And if you get the joke, let me know. There's a lot of references. I have never been afraid of a Hodgson. Cogswell Coffees offers iced coffee in regular and 5 different flavors, including strawberry, raspberry, and coconut. And this month they're doing pumpkin spice lattes because pumpkin spice lattes are kind of a thing now. It just is. So, coffee kiosk. You of course you have a coffee cart in the hallway. If the coffee cart isn't to your liking, well, we could always go over to the bar. Bar with a wide variety of beverages being made. And yes, I am in fact making these things at the factory, and we'll go look at that later on in this stream if I have the time. I'm pretty sure I will. The inevitable old machinery and signage on the walls, and a little bit of a bar joke, a grave marker, and it's labeled Joe Schlabotnik skipped out on his tab. Sort of humor you find in a bar sometimes. The bar offers, excuse you, thank you, offers everything from beer up to some fairly strong stuff. We've got red rum and steel toe stout. Pretty hefty stuff. And then a selection of wines, including Riesling and Rosé, and over here I have a Merlot, so on and so forth. I was so pleased at getting these lights. MOA Decor. I ought to talk a little bit about MOA Decor because they've got some really cool stuff and some that allows some nice detailing. I've got the proper little track lighting, hanging lights over the bar, and it makes me happy. They also provided the bottle of tequila that is sitting down at the end of the bar. The coin jar here, this is an actual tip jar. You can actually drop in-game currency into the tip jar. You are going to have to be sat or something as you're getting in the way here. I keep getting, my video keeps getting photobombed by the wolf, and it's kind of starting to annoy me. And of course, the lounge area here, and trying to remember if I have to like crouch to get him to sit or something. Oh, that just brings up the GUI. I'm trying to remember where the. I'm not sure I can get him to sit. Well, phooey. I may have to disconnect him for a bit. Bit of decor over here. Wine bottles sitting out on the table. We have a first aid kit. There is a first aid kit in every area. This is a train station. We are prepared for these things. And of course, there are slot machines, and these are slot machines you can actually play with the in-game currency here. No, I'm not going to gamble on stream. Okay, we've got, let's see, let's go on over here. Oh, hey, Well, we'll have a look at the vending machines. Of course, there's an ATM right outside the entrance to the cafeteria. And if you get the reference there, let me know. The Blue Boar Cafeteria. There is a breakfast machine that has things like oatmeal and apples and breakfast sandwiches and danishes. A walking lunch machine that has pizza slices and corn dogs and things you can hold in one hand and eat while you are walking. And a goodies machine with all sorts of interesting things. You know, the theater box with the popcorn and everything, and a couple of different kinds of donuts and dango. And then we have the Blue Boar Cafe. The Blue Boar Cafeteria, you go in here. Okay, first we have dishes, of course, cold food items. Got an empty slot there, something either sold out or they just don't have anything for it right now. This is where you get your salads and such. On to the side dishes that can maybe be a meal. You know, I've made a lunch out of broccoli and dip before. The hot food line with a wide variety of stuff. There's a whole roast chicken back there waiting to be carved. We've got the grab and go area with pizzas and soups and some breakfasty stuff here because some people are eating breakfast at 2 in the afternoon, you know? Well, let's accommodate everybody regardless of schedule. Got a nice display pizza out here to be and boxed pies ready to be picked up and taken with you. Various foods here. You'll see a lot of this being made over at the factory. I've been very busy over there, and we'll get to it later. Oh, let's see. The dip cups and condiments, and the one sign that sticks out, you know this was placed by the vendor. It's a different material, it's different coloration. This is vendor signage that's been put under the display of cheesy poofs. Hello, this is in fact extensive. Hello Mox and hello Queen Freya. Welcome to both of you. Also making me want to go make a pumpkin spice, which is very funny. Indeed. So yeah, I want cheesy poofs. I've spent a large part of this past week building this concourse. The manager's specials. The manager got a great buy on eggplant and has 3 different eggplant dishes. Please buy the damn eggplant. Okay, the dessert area, individual portion or whole pie. We can help you out here. We've got muffins, we've got cookies, we've got over here whole cakes. And then we get to the drinks cooler and the frozen desserts and the hot beverages, tea and hot chocolate on this side, coffee on that side. Baskets of chips at the register because there's always a basket of chips at the register. Yes, I will take the whole pie. I mean, yeah, I have got apple pumpkin, strawberry rhubarb. I've got a sweet berry cheesecake. And all being made on production lines over at the factory. I've been damn busy. Lightman's currency is... This wolf is driving me up the wall. Okay, hold on a second. I gotta do a thing here. Alright, I'm gonna have to disconnect you here, dude. Swap that over. There, that will desummon the wolf, and we'll resummon the wolf later. Okay, Lightman's currency is what's doing a lot of this. Because these registers, at the register, you can get any of the things in the cafeteria. And I'm currently carrying 3 diamond, which is enough to carry me through for quite a while. I'm not doing too bad at all. Thank you for dining at Blue Boar Cafeteria. And we proceed on out. Oh, hey. Well, I mean, this is a train station concourse. It is a comfortable one. And so there are some seating areas. You will probably find a couple of people sitting here eating or resting. We got some decor over here. You have to have an old lantern here. You know, got to have the old railway lantern. And there's a globe. The globe actually spins. Oh, but we skipped a spot. There is always some kind of specialty shop on the concourse, is there not? Here we have the Bovine Empire Fine Cheeses. And we are offering Grana Panado on special this week, featured. Over here, we have a wide variety, including a cooler full of fresh mozzarella and ricotta. Over here, various other cheeses. Oh, and yeah, there we go. Listed out, easily purchasable here. Uh-oh. Hang on a second. I think something odd just happened with my sound. Let me check my sound here. I need to see the audio mixer because audio is haunted. Looks like it's locked properly. I think this may just be this headset is getting old. It's been banged around rather a lot. Yeah, I've lost my right channel dropped out there. Okay. Positional. I got it sussed. There we go. All right, we will go look at the cheese factory in a few minutes. And onward. This is closed off down here because beyond this is employees only area. We're going to walk in for just a second and see that this is where the stairs got moved. The stairs to the third floor for the Woodland Mansion were originally in the area that is now the entrance. We were in the entrance hallway. And so the stairs got moved here, and there is a lovely spiral staircase that goes up to what will be the offices and the switching booth and so forth. None of that has been put in yet. I've got a lot of interior decorating still to do. But it's coming along. I'm really pleased with how the railway is coming along so far. Let's go on down to the platform. Because down here, platform, employees only areas, there is the inevitable first aid kit and ATM. And we go out to the platform. There is no train in right now. Safety sign. And staff only, because this leads out down this way. And the bridge leads over to the boarding platform for the locomotive. So this is the driver crossing. Alrighty. So that's Union Station thus far. I'm still working on it. But yeah, and I mean, there needs to be some travel posters on this wall. I don't like all that blank wall space. You don't see that in a real train station. There should probably, I haven't figured out how to do graffiti yet. There needs to be graffiti somewhere, some sort of mural on the outer wall, maybe. From here, let's go over to the factory. And how's my, there we go, checking my tachometer here. Oh, excuse me. Caught that. The cola trees. I have yet to figure out how to automate the cola trees. They will grow cola nuts kind of randomly, and I just don't know how to automate them. I tried a mechanical insulator here from Create, but the cola won't go in, and it can't be done in botany pots. I haven't found a way to automate it yet. Kind of on my nerves. So let's go upstairs and have a look through the factory and see a bunch of the new machinery, because, oh golly, there's a lot of new machinery. Hydrate. And speaking of the whole pie, here is the Pie Works. We have the sweet berry machine, and we have the pumpkin machine, and we have the apple pie machine. That is an ice maker. I have the ice maker running because I ran out of ice, and I'm trying to keep up with the iced coffee machine, which is pounding away over there. Let's look over here because I have the pumpkinator. Now, what the pumpkinator does is it turns pumpkins into pumpkin slices, and as pumpkins grow and are harvested from the botany pots up on the roof, they get brought down here, dropped into this chest, and bada bing bada boom, turned into pumpkin slices. The pumpkin slices are then deployed into crusts to make pies. Let's see how this works. Q Powerhouse. Pie crust. Where's my pie crust? Pie crust. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. We'll grab 4 stacks of pie crust and go have a look at how this works. So, first, let's turn the machine on. Okay, machine is on. And what we're going to do is huck a stack of pie crust in. Bada bing, bada boom, it starts making incomplete pumpkin pies because the pies have to go through the machine twice. And so what happens here is the incomplete pumpkin pies are being brought down by the filter here. I load in pie crust, the incomplete pies get automatically recirculated and sent back through. And we'll just stand here and watch for a second because we are just ticking away with the necessary ingredients here. Pumpkin slice, and sugar. And eventually that stack of pie crusts will run out. I could have put an andesite funnel on there instead of a brass, and it would feed out a little more visually attractively, but let's just go on and throw stuff out there by the stack and get it done. There it goes. And now we've got the incomplete pies sliding out, and you can see you got completed pumpkin pies going into the chest and going into the system. So that is how a stack of pumpkin pies gets made to be sent over to the passenger station for the Blue Boar cafeteria. The pies are automatically delivered. There's an extractor down below, and the blue line is not just a passenger line, it also has a couple of freight cars. The sweet berry cheesecake is actually a little more interesting to watch because the completed cheesecakes stand up, and we'll go do that in just a second. I'm going to wait till this finishes so I can shut it down. There we go. I'm having some... I've overstrained my electric supply, and I cannot run everything at the same time here. So I have to pick which machine I'm running. We'll come over here and get the sweet berry cheesecake going. Let's toss in some pie crust. Get it going. Now here, what we get is sweet berry, and a spout of milk. The milk is coming from this buffer tank, which is coming from that pipe, which goes all the way over there to the auto cow. I've covered the auto cow in a previous stream, but I will go look at it in a minute. I'm waiting right now for the incomplete for the first run to finish and the second run to start, so that you can see what I'm talking about. Hydrate. Must remember to hydrate. Give it just a minute here. One of the things about Create is that you have to be patient. You're doing batch processing in real, and yeah, you can see the machinery working. That's kind of the point. Is that you're doing your processing in world. There we go. Watch this. Never preface any move by saying watch this, but you can see the the finished cheesecakes stand up. They pop up off the belt and stand up, and it's visually, yeah, you've got that completion thing happening there. All right, I'm going to leave this running. Go over this way. Let's see, the ice. How is my ice supply doing? That's a good question. Actually doing really well. Let's shut off one of these ice machines. Maybe both of them. We'll save a little power here. Oops. Around and up and shut this one off. There we go. Okay, we still have massive amounts of coffee, but we have run out of coffee lids. Okay, I have glass, I have coffee, I have ice, I have run out of coffee lids. Delicious indeed. Oh, delicious. This is the iced coffee machine that does the final processing. I looked at it in a previous stream. Over here, this is the flavoring machine. And what I'm going to do here, I have a tank of caramel syrup here. I can start up this pump, which will feed caramel to this machine. There we go. And start up this machine. And now we are making caramel coffee. So your fancy coffee that you buy from the kiosk, this is how it's made. And that'll run until that tank runs out of syrup. Over here, some new stuff. Here is the auto cow that's been here before. Poor Bessie up there is providing all of that. Very simple little mechanism. A deployer pokes empty buckets at Bessie. The smart chute only allows full buckets to fall down onto the conveyor belt, and the full buckets are then drained into the tank. You push on the push 'em and you pull on the pull 'em, and the pickles go into the jar. Let's use some of this milk right now to get this thing going. And so I'm just going to start this motor here. That starts the mixer, which makes milk curds. And the curds, the cheese curds, go up to a stomper, which presses them into soft curd cheese. The soft curd and occasionally a wedge of Crete Gourmet pops out. I can't use a recipe filter. It'll stop the outflow of milk going back to the tank because I do recover a little bit of milk with each stomp. As you can see, I'm getting a 50 millibuckets of milk back with each stomp. When it gets full enough, it'll pump out and go back over here. There is a recovery pipe. The soft curd cheese goes off down the line. Right now it's filling up this cheese cellar, which produces the longer aged cheeses. This produces medium aged cheeses, and this produces short run cheeses. The lineup should be fairly obvious as to why. This one will fill up, and then because it's taking the longest to process, the cheeses will fall through to the one that takes the next longest to process, and then to the one that is the fastest at the end, so that the fastest isn't glomming all the cheese and overloading me on short run stuff. I get a better distribution by going by going longest to shortest run. And then this just repeats the pattern for if this short run fills up, it just flows right on down to there. And yeah, then everything gets collected down at the end. And this is how the cheese is made for the cheese shop. That fancy gourmet cheese shop in the promenade, this is where the cheese is made, in a factory. Pretty much like real life. These are auto chefs. Oh, these are fun. These are fun machines. Let's go have a look at this, because this is how some of the food in the some of the Farmer's Delight food in the Blue Boar cafeteria is getting made. This particular auto chef has been given the vegetable noodles recipe. This is a blaze stove from Crete Central Kitchen. I've used it before. The depots each have the various ingredients here. What's missing here are bowls. And so let's come over here. I'm going to first start this. That starts up the Auto Chef. Auto Chef is going wurra wurra, but is not doing anything just yet because Auto Chef doesn't have any bowls to put stuff in. Let's go get some bowls. I've got the workshop inventory set up for remote access. And we'll look at the oven in a minute. The oven is being problematic. We'll look at the oven in a minute. Let's go over here and get 4 stacks of bowls here. There we go. Go grab a few stacks. Come back over here to this Auto Chef and to the blaze stove, and we're going to give it bowls so that it can clear that out. And that means it's going to start making new stuff. Look at that. Right now, the extractor arm, there you go, there's the input arm going. Grabbing the ingredients, hucking them into the pot. The extractor arm, meanwhile, puts the finished vegetable noodles on the output belt and zoom, the vegetable noodles go off to inventory. This one is making fried rice. Let's give it more bowls. And we see just all sorts of fried rice go zooming by as the extractor arm works to haul all this out. And then we put this in. We can see the ingredients appearing as the mechanical arm takes the ingredients from the depot and drops them into the cooking pot. And so we have auto chefs. Your fried rice is made in a factory by a robot. Takes a second to cook. And when it's done, it's put out and the next batch is started. And hey presto, we have robots making some of our food. Congratulations. We have over here an industrial oven that right now isn't doing anything. I have had some hassles with extracting finished goods from it. Right now it's set to do cakes, and I really ought to set it up to do sausages, but I don't have a machine making the raw sausage. I've seen those. Works better here, though. Yeah. This is the Mark II. I have built these auto chefs in an earlier version. Long ago, I did a Create Trains world in 1.16.5 and had these a whole factory full of these auto chefs. If you go back in my early VODs, you can find it. These machines are keeping the bowl supply together. There's a single crafter up there that is turning jungle log into jungle plank, and then this auto crafter turns jungle plank into bowls. And it runs continuously because I have a continuous supply of jungle log from the fruit trees upstairs. All the tropical fruit trees in the botany pots also drop jungle logs. And so I have 94,000 jungle logs right now. I can afford to leave the machine, 95,000. I can afford to leave a machine running that turns them into planks and then saying that turns those into bowls. Got to get this thing working. Okay, we've seen this before. This machine makes canvas from rice straw. Canvas is incredibly useful as a crafting component for making signs and for making the wattle and daub construction blocks that I'm carrying here. This was all made here in the factory. This is the compressors. You've seen the compressors in a previous stream. They just automatically compact ingots and diamonds and such into block for ease of storage. I have a continuous flow of these materials coming in from the automatic mines that we've seen in previous streams, and so yeah. This is new. This is the industrial kitchen, where I've been producing a lot more of the food that you see over at the Blue Boar. It was easier to set up a kitchen and do small batches manually than to set up machinery to do all those different things automatically. I've only automated some of the food. The rest of it, yeah, there's actual, player hands involved in making the food. 2 reach-ins, full of veg and such. Rather a lot of tofu. All of the quote-unquote meat that you saw at the Blue Boar was made from tofu. I have, as you have seen, I have no animal products being produced here at the factory other than eggs. That's where I was making tankards and forgot to clear that. Let's go look at that. I mean, you can hear the birds. I put in a bird box. Oh, and so the kitchen has sufficient milk supply. I have multiple cow in a jars stuck to the back of the kitchen floor blocks. So I've got 7 cow in a jar here feeding the commercial kitchen. Head out and up. The rooftop production facility has grown slightly since last week. Not a lot. I added a chicken box. Real simple. I mean, we've all done this one. Hopper floor, a lot of birds in a box. Hey presto, you have a steady flow of eggs. Nothing really new there. And then, yeah, I'm growing all the Pam's crops, and including all the tree crops and a couple of the more troublesome crops like pumpkins and melons in botany pots. That's a maple tree, so it's growing maple syrup. And then all of that gets collected by the I/O points at the corners and by the controller in the center and fed into the central inventory system. And that's where all of this is coming from. Factory. Okay, factory. Anything in the factory I haven't looked at? I don't think so. I mean, there's nothing new over here. This is just still the mineral processing. Let's go get the train. This is something I still haven't fixed. I'm still using the bat pole to get down to the train. Drop down that. And why are we glitching? Heat is fine. Heat is absolutely, this is fine. Oh, where did I leave the blue line? Where is the blue line? Oh, I know where it is. Right. Let's go look at that and then bring the train around. So we'll pop in at St. Casimir, which village needs some work. I need to fill that in and fix the road and so forth. The train is here right now because I'm in the middle of building my first village station, and I'm working on trying to get a design I like that I can standardize across the villages. So right now, that does not look right. That needs this. There we go. That needs to be properly cross-braced. And this looks right on the inside and wrong on the outside. It should slant toward the window because these are braces. No. Why doesn't it want to point that direction? There we go. It matters which direction you're pointing when you put it in. I think I'm going to take out this window here and replace it with... No. Yes. No. There we go. Replace with that, and then put this in here. bring that over. It seems like this should be here. Except I really can't because of the weird shed roof. The shed roof could be... No. There we go. I mean, I could go with that, but then I'd have to go here and put that in because it has to have the cross brace. Anyway, I've been fiddling with this and trying to get the design to where I like it. It starts with a shed roof that extends out over the train so that rain is shed on this side of the track and not on the passengers standing on the platform. Gosh, what a thought. You know, let's keep the passengers dry while they're boarding the train. Oh, hello, Wolf. You have decided to go for a ride? All right, that's cool. This station is still in progress and does not yet have a crew facility, so I have to fly down here to get to the locomotive. Whoops. And not stop flying a little too soon. And off we go. Let's get this train into motion. Wow, my poor laptop is having to work to try and do this. We are really chugging here. Ooh. Not nearly as smooth a ride as I get when I'm not streaming. Let's let off the throttle a second and give the chunk loader a chance to catch up. Whew. Wow, that's rough. Try again. No, it's just going to be a rough ride. I'm straining my laptop a bit here, I'm afraid. Watching my heat. Heat is fine. Tachometer is good. Let's get the blue line brought around. Let's see, we are heading for the factory, which is good. You can see the marker in the mini-map. There's an F for factory up there. Approaching factory station. Use the auto dock feature here. There we go. Make sure I stop controlling the contraption. And here we have pumpkin pies, sweetberry cheesecakes, and caramelized coffee being loaded into the cargo van. Right now we are banging away here with caramelized coffees. Okay. Pies, cakes, coffees have all been loaded aboard the train. Let's take the train around to Union Station so that we can see what it looks like in station. Yes, very good. I'll take the compliment. Not completely sure what it is in connection to. But things are going, yeah, it's... Ooh. Oh, Lordy. I need to put this on a server. This world really needs to have some serious horsepower behind it. Even playing off stream, driving the train occasionally gets like this. And you can see here where I've got the marker items put in, the cargo loaders and 2 small oak platforms, little oak mushrooms, where the passenger vans line up. I've gone through and set that up at all the stations. Once I get a design for the building that I like at St. Casimir, I intend to schematic it and then drop it in where feasible. Not all of the villages will have territory where I can just paste in the station. I was looking at the train being loaded with cakes and coffees. Oh yeah, oops. Roadkill. Yeah, we have the cakes and coffees loaded. It all works. We'll be at Union Station in a little bit, and when we get there, the train will be automatically unloaded, and all those cakes and pies and coffees will transfer into the station inventory and be available through the consoles at various locations. Ooh. Okay, Union Station up ahead. Here we go. Up. I've really got to put fences up or something, although it won't stop the animals from spawning on the tracks. And we have arrived at Union Station. At which point, open the door here and step out onto the crew platform, up the stairs that we saw earlier, across the bridge and down. And I can now walk around from the locomotive into the station. Hurrah. Down underneath there are unloaders of the sort that we have seen before. And what happens then is that we get things transferring in. There, you can see the sweet berry cheesecakes loading in from the train. So I have food being made in the factory and delivered by rail to the passenger station. I can then just take a stack of those out, turn around, and presto, stock them in the display here, and they are now available to customers. There is only one train on this line right now, and that's the blue line. So I haven't put in signals or any of that yet. Once I get a few stations done, I'm going to be putting up a second train on this line, at which point there will be signals put in and scheduling and so forth, and not all stops will be made by each train. The blue line is going to be running between, among other things, between the factory and the passenger station to haul food over. It's carrying passengers kind of as a secondary thing. I do have a tram that I'm looking at. Don't like the design I've got right now. It's kind of ugly. I mean, it's really ugly. Let's just go over to the workshop here. Yeah, I need to incorporate the control booth into the body of the thing better, rather than having this little promontory thing going on here. That I don't like the look of it. It's front heavy. It's not good. It's really not good. Got to figure out how I'm going to do this. This is the what I've got to work with here. This is the spacing I have. So I've got to stick with the standardization. These extractors are for the workshop and do things like potatoes and pickled vegetables and so forth that are made at the workshop. The workshop also has the brewery and the winery. We've already seen this. This is the pickling room and also where I do coffee roasting. Over here, I've got some basic crops in botany pots. Some more in elite pots because I'm using more of the stuff. Back here is the brewery. Which, yeah, let's have a look at this. I've tried to automate this as best I could, and it's just not. Brewing and Chewing is resisting automation. The only thing I've ever gotten to work with it are the item pipes, the logistical transporters, they're called, in Mechanism. Mechanism's item pipes will work with these. Everything, nothing else wants to automate it properly. Kind of a frustration. Let's see. Let's grab some tankards here. And this one has made beer. And so I can drop some tankards in, and it will drop the beer into the inventory and refill with water and start brewing the next batch. This one also makes beer. There we go. Let's see how it works. This one has made vodka. And we drop in tankards. Output is handled. I can't leave tankards there. They won't feed over. They have to be manually placed each time. I've tried piping in tankards a couple of different ways and have not been able to. It just won't go. Brewing and Chewing, like Farmer's Delight, is somewhat resistant to automation. Okie doke. Get all that done, and over here I've got various other things being made. That's where the Steel Toe Stout is made. Over here I have, this one is making cheese, and I'm going to need a different thing here. Let me drop the tankard in and get honeycomb out. Honeycomb, honeycomb, honeycomb. Here we go. Honeycomb. And, oh, this has been making kippers and just cranking right along. Let's go on and pull those out. And here, if I drop a honeycomb in here, I get a cheese. I then have to manually add milk to get it started on the next one. Same here, I can get a scarlet cheese. The cheese gets put out, well, let's actually show how this is done. The cheese, once taken out, is unripe and has to be put out in world in order to sit and ripen and turn into a scarlet cheese wheel. At this point, I just have to wait for this to ripen. Just like with real cheese. You sit it on a shelf and you wait. Let's see, various other things that make the beverages and such. This one makes kimchi. And one of these, let's see, this one's making jerky and is full up. Let's unload it so it can continue. There we go. Okay, various ingredients here made at the factory. Kimchi, kippers, and jerky being made here. The scarlet cheese and the flaxen cheese both require a knife. Let me see, I should have a diamond knife handy. There we go. And we just go whack-a-da, 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 and we get, not very sanitary, it flies around and lands on the floor, but, you know, it's Minecraft. You deal with it. Let's put the knife away up there, and yeah, I've got 4 flaxen cheese wedges. Hey, presto. That can be used as ingredients for all sorts of other foods. So there is, here we have the brewery. This is where all the beer and vodka and Bloody Marys and Pale Jane and all that is being made, and where the cheese is being made and aged. Upstairs, we have another thing. It'll take me a second to get there. Caffeinate. Okay, E string being taken out. Yay. Yeah, I put a little bit of decor in the front of the factory. It should look halfway decent, you know. Let me think about where I need to go here. Where did I put it? Around this side, I think. Around this side and in the back. I have the boiler and some of the machinery here. This is the machine that makes the coffee lids. If I drop limestone in here, I will get polished cut limestone slab over here, which is then turned into coffee lids over at the factory. The coffee lids are made here, shipped to the factory for assembly. This machine over here, it processes salt into salt compound for the pickling room. Back here we have the winery. This is it. All those fancy wines you saw at the train station at the promenade, they're all made here. Let's go collect some grapes. There should be some grapes by now, I hope. If not, I'll just create a man suck it, you know. Comes a point where you get tired of the nonsense. Yep, they're not growing. The grape bushes don't want to grow. They plant here, but then I have to hit them with bone meal to get them to do anything. Let's see, I've got Oh, I've got bone meal. Let's grab bone meal and switch out and just, we'll just make some grapes here. You know, nuts to you. You don't want to grow on your own. I got bone meal. I can do this. And we'll make white grapes and red grapes. And head back in. Let's see. Think about this. Make sure I'm going in the right direction here. Alrighty, so got 3 machines here for stomping red grapes, white grapes, and apples. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to toss the white grapes and the red grapes into the inventory, and that'll get the stompers going. Beats heck out of having to step into the vat and jump up and down myself. Wine is wonderful, yes. In vino veritas. Okay, so what has been made here is grape pomace. And I'm going to pull this out and manually set it up here for various reasons. And I should also have, here is an entire stack of apple must. Excellent. So I'm going to take this apple must and drop it into a wine cellar. And let's just pop up and over to here so I can see what happens. And it starts ticking along. And I'll take red grapes and drop them in here. And take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. Okay. Give it just a second here. There we go. There went a bottle of cider. It was kind of quick. We'll drop white grapes in here. And over here, I'm going to put white grapes in the plus and red grapes in the regular. And there we go. And now we're making a variety of wines and also making cider. Cider is a particular favorite of mine. It's my spouse's favored alcoholic beverage. She is not a beer drinker. Does not generally enjoy beer. Finds it tastes like spoiled bread. Cider, however, has been around for a long time. Back in the Victorian era and earlier, farms made their own cider, and they handed it out at the end of the harvest to the migrant workers who had shown up as part of their pay. And whether you got good workers at your farm when it was time to harvest depended partly on the reputation of your farm's cider. If you made bad cider, it didn't matter how much you were paying, people might or might not show up to pick your crops. What wines we get out of the red and white cellars are sequential. It just goes through and makes one of each and one of each and one of each until it runs out of grapes. So yeah, all the fancy wines being sold at the bar are being made in the workshop in an automated system here. Again, depressingly realistic. You know, so much is made in workshops and factories. Some of the food is handcrafted. Oh, there's the Emerald Queen in station right now, picking up a load of, oh gosh, what all? Sugar, carrots, roasted coffee, rice, wheat, potatoes, beetroot, and beetroot seeds, all being shipped off to the factory as raw materials for various productions. Let's go here. I'm going to go on back to St. Casimir and go back to work on I think I've looked at everything here. I'm going to go back to St. Casimir. And look at working on the station a bit further. I mean, it's a nice start, but it needs rather a lot of work. And one of the things it needs is this overload of brick got rid of. There we go. Something like that. No, I think those two brick pillars may need to stay there. I don't know. I think that's structural support. I can't go knocking the structural supports down. I have to just put up with it here. But not over here. Let's open that up. And, oops. Remembering that it matters which direction I go. There we go. That looks a little better, I think. I should get this to match that. Let's see. It's one more block long over here. Dang it. Because I have a center block and I had intended that to be a 3 wide. Okay, I see my problem here. Problem identified. There we go. Okay. That's not bad. It's not bad. Let's get the window put in. So that is symmetric here. And not bad from the inside. How's it look from the outside? A little funky because the braces are pointing the wrong direction. I think it's more important that the braces be pointing the right direction from outside than inside. Oops. Well, shit. That happens. There we go. Yeah, that looks better. That block there just sticks out so bad. And that should be deep slate nestled up under there to line up with like that. There we go. I want to make that deep slate as well. And then that's all roofing. There we go. And that parallels with that. Okay. Down to this end where I've got this a little more. Yeah. Let's swap that out. No. Still a little funky, but a lot less so. Not sure I'm digging the Tudor framing on the side. It's just not balancing right. Goes up too far. Part of the problem. If I bring it down to here and just go on and put deep slate across here. Oops. Let's get our green going in the correct direction. Thank you. That actually looks a lot better. That's symmetrical. It holds together better. Design decisions. I think this is about the best I'm going to get. Let's go on and go with this at the other end. Which means I need to go through and do just rip a bunch of shit out here real quick. And let's see. We should have that's pointing the wrong direction. There we go. Get the green going the right way here. Now, That's not right. It's too close. Oh, because I did that. Okay. I see my problem. Have I made it too tall? One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Okay, but there should be more windows here. There we go. That, I think, has got it. Then I was bringing the deep slate on over to here. That does it look about right? Does it look right? That line up over here, yeah. I brought the deep slate over to there, but that's brick all the way to the up to the ventilator. So, is the ventilator up too high on this end? I think my ventilator is up too high on this end. Yeah, the ventilator should be down one. A ventilator louver's in the wrong place. Okay. Hmm. There we go. Now let's see what it looks like. That's better. It's going to be somewhat asymmetrical and a little weird, partly because of the shed roof, where, you know, the platform is not half the station. This goes past the midpoint. Makes it a little weird, but that's not too bad. I can live with that. Which means I then have to think about this, and I think I'm going to use structural glass here. And then just put brick over it. This should probably be bricked up here a bit to allow for ticket booths, whatever, that aren't right up against the glass. And that's too high. Damn it. Well, so was I at the time, so. There we go. This interior wall is just going to be a thing here. Although I am going to put, I think, a ventilation louver here. And, you know, what if I put louvers over the windows? What would that look like? Hmm. Hmm. Something's not right here. It's just, again, it's too tall. I've made it too tall, damn it. Hmm. 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 I don't know. What do y'all think? Trying to get toward a train station, there's going to need to be a fairly solid wall between the platform and the station interior, partly for noise, partly for the ticket booth to back up against. This is going to be an employees only door. Passengers will go in and out the doors on either side, the ones with the fancy stuff. So yeah, the ticket booth is going to ticket booth cage is going to go right here in the middle. Let's look at counters. Where's my furniture? Where's the furniture I want? Here we go. McCaw's furniture, and I was going with just plain old oak for the here. Let's just find an oak counter. Here we are. Stash the brick and drop this in real quick here. Like this. I almost want to bring it back, but then that's going to cramp things behind the counter pretty bad. That's enough space. That should be enough space. Let's see. Yeah, personally, I'd probably start by seeing if everything I have planned will fit. Yeah, I'm not totally sure. What I have planned is a ticket machine to either side, an ATM, a register. That's all going to fit. That shouldn't be a problem. This is not right. This went over too far. You know, let's see. Let me just pop over to find where it is. No, that's the German HV signals. Need to remember where it is. It's Tramways, which has some neat stuff, but doesn't have where yet. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Silly person. It's got the, yeah. Let's just grab the go-ahead machine here. plunk the go-ahead machine just right there in the middle of the floor here. Flap. No, over by 1. There we go. Okay, there's our ticket machine put in. And if I want to put a register, oh, wait. Let's modernize this. We'll put a couple of these fancy kiosks over here. Okay, and yeah. Basically, yeah, I want to put a little furniture in here and a couple things on the counter. What I want to put in here is largely the ticket machines and some vending machines and, the usual impedimenta. Let's see, that's a standard, let's get a standard size one and a wide one. And just go with a brown one for the big one. Okay, brown vending machine can sit here, no? Can go where? Brown vending machine is going to go here. Purple vending machine is going to go here to stand next to that. And there's vending machines. There needs to be an ATM. We'll put over here in the corner by the fancy kiosks. And put a cash register like here. And a couple of oak. I mean, really? Where the hell is oak? There's all the fancy stuff. Oh, there, all the way down at the bottom is the oak. Yeah. Put a couple of stools here for the... Put one there for the person working the register so that they can sit. You know, let's let the person working the register sit down while they're working. No reason to keep them standing. Absolutely none. From here, yeah, the furnishings are going to be pretty simple. This is the village passengers station. The cargo depot is next door. I haven't even started on the cargo depot. It's going to be a whole nother thing where I need to build a platform and have stuff stacked up waiting to be shipped and so forth. The passenger depot, though, is just really basic. I'd like to see if I've got a newspaper rack or something like that I can put in here. You know, maybe a W.H. Smith's kiosk, because there's always a W.H. Smith's kiosk. Here's an idea. Oh, bugger. I always forget, you can't open the inventory with stuff in your hand. You gotta, there we go. W.H. Smith's has a vending machine. You can buy various books instead of the classic kiosk. We'll put in a vending machine. The kiosks, meanwhile, are there for tickets. Let's see, ticket and golden ticket, or better, pass. Ticket and pass. The ticket, come on, why isn't it setting? Did I forget to name it? Will not be instantly consumed by pay gates. Why isn't... That's weird. Okay, select all trades? No, deselect. Why isn't it wanting to let me drop a ticket in here? Do I need to do something with the ticket? Alright, I'm going to have to work on that off stream. There's something, I'm going to have to look up some documentation on Lightman's currency and find out what's going on with that to see why the tickets and passes aren't wanting to load into the kiosk. We'll figure it out. There's probably some other stuff I have to do in the settings. This looks like all the same as every other trading machine. I don't know. You tell me and we'll both know. Haven't figured out about doors yet. Doors, I've got quite a lot of options here. Yeah, Western swinging doors, yay. That's a stable door. Might or might not work so well. I'm looking at what might work for a train station here. Let's go with the mesh door. And let's go with dark oak for a contrasting trim here. That looks like a residential door. It does not look like a train station door. I keep coming back to the stable door. Which, oh, and it's a sliding door which works. That's beautiful. We'll do this. There we go. Oops. There we are. Excellent. Yeah, that actually is not bad, at which point I could then put sliding doors here and just ignore the middle space. Slide them back. And where's my louver? There we go. Like that. And that takes care of the problem of that center space by just ignoring it and putting decorative doors to either side. It's like shutters on a window that you never close. This one is going to need to be something else. There we go. Very obviously an employees only area. Okay. Lighting is a thing. I need to think about lighting. Again, go back to oak for the aesthetic that I've already established, the palette I'm using, and zoom down a ways, and I should find this. I use the dark oak here for an accent. I think that might work. Let's try it and see what it looks like. Yeah, actually that doesn't look too bad. Okay, come down here and pop one there. And then right there, dead center. There we go. And that gets a little motion into the view as well. We've got actual rotating ceiling fans. Could probably put something like that out here. I don't know if I want to put fans up here. The ceiling fans seem kind of indoor. I don't know. I got to think about lighting. Oh, and yeah. Except I'm going to hang it up. It needs something to sit on, doesn't it? Put it down there. Seems like it should be hanging off of something. Not too sure about this. Thinking I need to go get the train and bring it around and put it in station and see how it looks. And also start thinking about putting a crew facility out there and the cargo platform in. But first, I really want to get the aesthetic laid down for this. I don't know. The vending machine should be a little bit of clutter, you know. It should be some. This is a train station. There's always that one thing that is just badly placed and doesn't interrupt the traffic flow, but there's a little bit of a choke point there. There's always that one bad decision they've made. You know? Lord, I've been in enough train stations and subway stations and such over the... Yeah. I don't know. What needs to fit in here? That's about it. There's no seating. This is meant for... other than for the staff. There is no seating. This is a platform. I might put like a heater up there for the winter months or something. But, I don't know, maybe a bench here? What do I have for a bench? I got nothing. Diddly squat. Okay, nothing labeled as bench. Let's go look at the furniture that I've got available. That's a modern chair with padding. That's not going to work. Let's go see what else I've got. Well, no, the couch isn't going to work. The chairs are all going to come up. No. Let's see what it does here. Nope. It's just chairs. Doesn't turn into a bench. All I've got's this. And that's indoor furniture. I think I may need another furniture mod added. Let's think about that. In the meantime, I'm going to go back to the factory. Think, what else needs to be done here? I'm kind of wanting to stop fiddling with the station because I'm getting a little frustrated with the decor and it's not exactly going where I want it. But at the same time, it kind of is, and I kind of want to keep poking at it, but I think I'm going to have to add another furniture mod to do it because I don't have a bench. I need some sort of piece of furniture that where the chair will expand out into a bench. It can't look like an indoor sofa. It's got to look like something wooden that you would have out, or metal that you would have outdoors. And I don't think there's anything like that in any of the stuff I've got right now. Station decor is all signage and stuff. That's paving. I mean, I've got a whole bunch of plushies that'll eventually get set around, stairs and balconies. That's not going to be it. You know, that's coming in handy for a lot of other stuff. Moa bath came in real darn handy. That's where I got the toilet and the toilet paper holder and the grab rails for the loo. It's got some really nice stuff in. Oh, and the sign that has been showing up all over the station. The Moa Science is where the first aid kit is. There we go. Wall medicine cabinet. Here Tramways is just signage. And steam and rails isn't going to get, is all train parts. Yeah, I don't have the furniture I want. When I'm not able to make progress on a composition, I start working on a different composition. This is why I am at the factory and thinking about the oven and about the raw sausage machine that I need to build. Which is going to go here, maybe? Let's look at the process. Because sausages... Let's see, that's the wrong sausage. The raw sausage has to go I need casing and I need mincemeat, and then I have to have a specific sausage press item. The raw sausage, to make sausage casing, I need to put slime balls through a sawmill. Sausage is just made by cooking here. And we'll do bulk smoking using the oven if I can. The raw sausage takes mincemeat, which means I have to put some sort of meat and salt through an unheated blender. Okay, we'll get to see where the sausage gets made. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. And it starts with feeding some sort of meat and salt in plus salt. To get salt, I need a boil stone. Make that by running stone through a thresher. Okay. Start with a boil stone to make salt. I need to make salt. From there, I can throw that in with meat to make mincemeat. I then have to have a sausage casing maker that runs the sausage casings over to the assembler. The raw sausages then go to the oven to be cooked. So 4 machines. 4 machines. Yeah. We'll be starting with the salt maker, I think. But that is going to happen next time. Because we're hitting the top of the hour. Yes, Bessie, I know. So, we're hitting the top of the hour. And so you'll get to see where the sausage gets made next week, as I will work on putting the machinery in during the week. Thank you so very much for being here. I really do appreciate it. It's been lovely having you here. If you have enjoyed this stream, the previous VODs are on YouTube at the URL in the lower right of your screen. There's a lot of Minecraft. There's a bunch of other games as well. I do a lot of cozy stuff, farm sims and such, this and that and the other. If you are interested in other streamers, the team schedule is in the upper left. We've got stuff going on pretty much every day of the week, evenings, some afternoons. Check the schedule out. There's a lot there. Horror games, platformers, all sorts of stuff. I will be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel, 8 a.m. Pacific time with more Minecraft trains and tech. And yeah, sausage making. But before then, I will be back tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. Pacific time, with Roots of Pacha, a farm sim and dating sim in which you guide a Neolithic people through inventing agriculture and sorting out their issues. The game is very political. You win by cooperating and being supportive. It's very clear in its message. Lovely piece of work. Join me tomorrow night for Roots of Pacha and next Saturday for Minecraft. Until then, safe journey, space fans, wherever you may be.